The son of a motorcycle racer, John Kocinski was hooked on bikes at the age of 4.
I bought a little Yamaha, one of them 60s, and we put a Kawasaki motor in it because it had an automatic. And his feet would only touch the top of the motor, and he started riding it. And he would ride and ride till it ran out of gas, and then he'd fall over because he couldn't touch the ground.
By the time he was a teenager, he caught the attention of Kenny Roberts, who invited him to train at his California ranch. At age 16, those riding talents were rewarded with his first professional riding contract with Yamaha. He was an instant star in the AMA 250 class, winning the championship 3 consecutive years from 1987 through 1989.
It was something that's almost hard to comprehend, being that age and getting a factory contract. It's like that's every racer's dream.
John Kocinski was, in my day when I was racing 250 Grand Prix, was the guy to beat, and he set the lap records, and he would win races by 15, 20 seconds. And I was still learning how to do the sport at that time, and John was an amazing example for us to all follow. We were all chasing him.
A year later, John took on the world's best in the 250 GP ranks and took home his first world title.
He had this dream of being a world champion, and I really didn't know he had as much motivation towards that goal as he had, and it kind of caught me by surprise when he went to Japan the very first time to road race in the Japanese. That road race, he won, and I couldn't believe it, and I thought, my gosh,
The biggest thing is, I think, Bud Axelson, for basically all those championships, he's the one that sort of guided me and gave me the confidence, equipment. He was really the foundation of my whole career. To go there and win the title on your first try, where you've never seen any of the racetracks, is really I felt like at that point I was in an elite group of people.
The 250 championship was probably the most dramatic thing I've ever been around. He had crashed in 2 races. We were way down in points. The last race in Phillip Island, and Honda had all the Honda guys. Carduce was the point leader. Honda gave everybody, all the rest of the Honda guys, better stuff so they could keep John back, and all this stuff. Neither one of us thought we had a chance. There was no way, But Carduce had some problems. He broke a shift lever and this and that and stuff, and we ended up winning it. But that didn't slow John down. He didn't ride any slower trying to stay up. He broke track records, and just did an incredible job. And at the end of the race, he had won, and it was just, none of us had thought there was a prayer that we'd win that championship.
John continued racing in Europe, competing in 99 500cc World Championship races during his career, winning 13 times while visiting the podium 35 times altogether. One of his greatest racing accomplishments, however, came after a short hiatus from racing. Riding a Honda RC45, he took on and beat Carl Fogarty for the 1997 World Superbike Championship.
Honda was real serious. They had tried for several years to win the championship with that bike. No one was successful with it, and we came in and just were able to work with a very select group of folks and get the job done. It was pretty awesome.
John's professional racing career ended where it began, back home in the United States, where he rode for the Vance & Hines AMA Superbike team during the 2000 season. Despite numerous offers to ride for other teams, John retired from racing and began concentrating more time on his real estate business in Beverly Hills. His eye for detail and his insistence on excellence is what you would expect from a world champion that's making a name for himself as a real estate developer. His homes are not buildings, they are stunning pieces of art.
I strive for excellence. I spend so much time studying on my own, research, having a vision, I guess, and knowing how to pull that vision off. But it comes back to the same thing with motorcycles. I rode motorcycles because I loved them, and they were my passion. And I like what I do here, and it's my passion. And everything else just is falling into place, just as it did when I raced bikes.
Although the pride he shows in his latest creation is evident, it pales in comparison to the devotion he commits to his 2 children. John Kocinski is as good a father as he was a world champion.
You can race bikes. I race motorcycles, and now I develop these residential properties, but you know, my kids are like, they're everything to me. They trump everything. And if I got a call and I had to take off or run, I could only imagine the stories I hear about surfers. You know, they have their tool belts on and they're working, and as soon as they hear that surf is just right, they drop the tool belts and they're off to the races. And that's the same way I'm with those kids. I live for them, and I just try to be the best dad I can be.
You know, for me, it was great to watch him grow as a person and as an individual. Now he's pretty intellectual, you know, he's really good in real estate, he knows about art and fine dining and, you know, parenting. He's a remarkable dad. I've watched him in action, and my grandson has interacted with his son, and, you know, it's almost like John's trying to build the $1 million boy, you know what I mean? I mean, it's so fun to watch him. You know, he's a pretty special guy, and when I heard that he was getting inducted, I was pretty excited because we're good friends.
While John's professional career may have ended and his days are spent building dream homes and bringing up his children, his passion for motorcycle racing has never waned. He has spent a considerable amount of time perfecting what can only be described as a flat-track motorcycle work of art that happens to be very, very fast. At a recent flat-track race in Springfield, Illinois, John was the fastest among the field, closing out the night with a dominating win. At 47 years of age, John Kocinski can still race a motorcycle faster than a lot of people half his age. Reflecting back on his career and induction into the AMA Hall of Fame, his father Gerald sums it up best.
He's made it, I guess, so to speak. You know, it's hard for me to believe that. It really is, you know, because you start out, I guess, you don't think about it. And when we were starting out, you couldn't get any sponsors or anything. You just had to go and just spend money. And now, I guess, you know, you think back and forth, I guess it was all worth it.
For his many achievements in professional road racing, including 3 AMA 250 Grand Prix Championships, an FIM 250 World Championship, and an FIM World Superbike Championship, the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame proudly welcomes John Kocinski.